Hello, I'm Matthew North from Matthew North Music, and in today's video I'm going to show you exactly what kind of a rabbit hole you can go down if you buy yourself a piece of consumer electronics off eBay and it doesn't quite come out to what you actually expected. In this video we're going to be talking about this rather obscure piece of equipment from the mid-80s. This is a Sony PCM-EV10. Now, when I bought this, I assumed this was going to be a PCM audio adapter as based on the Sony PCM-F1. Now, if you don't know what that is, firstly, I would better explain that. This is a brief description of how it works. You have analog audio channels going into the device. These would then be digitized into PCM audio. This would be either at 14 or 16-bit, 16-bit being the preferred quality for most audio. This signal was then encoded into a video stream. This video stream is a series of black and white dots that you can see on the screen. You would then record this onto a Betamax videotape. Once recorded onto the Betamax videotape, you simply played the tape back with the video output going into the video return of the PCM-F1, and this would then turn the video signal back into two channels of solid digital stereo sound. This format was extremely popular in small studios in the 1980s because it was a way of recording up to 3¼ hours of undisturbed digital audio on a tape that would cost approximately £7. This was also a popular method of sending audio from A to B in the broadcast world, because phase was always an issue with analog post office audio lines. This way you could simply send the video signal up a standard video line between two broadcast sites, and you could have the audio in full stereo in phase anywhere where there's a good quality video signal. A similar system was used for the mastering of compact discs. This was called the PCM-1630 system, and it did a similar job in converting the audio into a video signal. This was then recorded onto a u-matic videotape, and the u-matic videotape was then used for the mastering of the CD. With the u-matic videotape, it had time code which could be used for setting the in and out points of each audio track. One of the reasons why the early days of CDs had a maximum playing time of either 63 minutes and later on 74 minutes was because this was the maximum length of time on a u-matic videotape. So back to this box, the Sony PCM-EV10. Now, when I bought this, I thought this would be exactly the same as the PCM-F1, but to work with a Video 8 tape. After all, it's got two level control sliders, just like the knob that was on the front of the PCM-F1 box. And it also lights up with the word PCM, and it even has a nice little headphone socket with a level control. Attached to this device is this connector. Now, for most people, you would take one look at that and assume that is a standard SCART lead, and that you would plug the SCART lead into the back of the 8mm deck, and you could happily do PCM digital audio with an 8mm tape for hours. Because on an 8mm tape, if you run it at slow speed, you can get up to 90 minutes, which for a small tape is not bad at all. And certainly for domestic use, you could record a nice good long radio program with it and have some good sound at the end of it. However, this wasn't quite to be, and I'm going to take you over to the other room and show you why. Right, I'm filming this on my phone. This is my original Video 8 deck. As you can see, it fits on top of the PCM unit, or the PCM unit fits on top of the deck, and you can see they look like they match. On the back of the unit, you can see that there's a standard SCART connector, and this looks like a SCART connector, so you would think that would go in the back. However, no matter which way around you try and plug it in, it ain't going there. And there's good reason for this, because this PCM unit is only designed for one type of machine. Well, the answer to my conundrum lies here. This is the Sony EVA-300UB Video-8 video recorder. And to all intents and purposes, that's exactly what it is. It's a standalone video recorder. It has a built-in analog tuner. It has connections on the back for other devices. It has a timer built in. The only difference between this and any other video recorder of its day is that it uses Video-8 tapes rather than the, by then, more standard VHS system. Now, I've been looking for one of these decks for about a year, and they've been quite hard to come by because a lot of people during lockdown, I think, were going through their old camcorder tapes, backing things up. And so any Video-8 deck was actually fetching a premium on eBay. And with my other deck, this deck is very similar in design. Except, of course, it wouldn't fit that elusive blue plug. The first thing to note is that this PCM interface is stereo. You have stereo line in, left and right, and you have two sets of line outs. The reason that there's two sets of line outs is because you could have one pair going to, say, a hi-fi system, and the other pair could be going to a stereo television set. And finally now I can make the bridge between these two pieces of equipment. And there we go, and actually it looks rather neat and tidy connected together. The original deck was only mono, it could only record in mono. So adding this PCM interface, what it's actually doing is it's recording audio on a separate track of the tape. This is quite a clever process because what it means is you can actually do overdubs on your camcorder tape. For example, you could add stereo music and then you could play it all back mixed, and you would have the stereo music and you would have your original audio. How does this kind of work? Well, let's just open the front here and have a look. Here on the front you've got some more buttons. You've got this playback here for PCM, the mix or standard. So I'm going to leave it on PCM, which it is on. And you've also got this bilingual setting, which I think is to switch between the left-hand channel or the right-hand channel. So you can have two different audio tracks with two different lots of sound. And then you've also got the setting for the audio input. I've got it obviously on the line input, but you could use the tuner input. And the reason for that is, even though the tuner was in mono, by recording the audio on the PCM tracks, you get far higher audio fidelity. And also, you don't have any auto level control, which most video recorders had at the time. You could actually set the audio level. So as a result, you would get much better sound quality. I have the line output of the camera plugged into the interface now. And if you're listening on headphones, the left-hand channel is the microphone that I have pinned to me, my personal microphone. And on the right-hand channel is the top mic of the camera. So you should hear a different sound separation. To do this recording, I bought myself a few of these. These are TDK 8mm HS camcorder tapes. These were definitely my preferred tape of choice when I used to do filming on my camcorder back in the 90s. I had a Samsung camcorder, it was 8mm, it only had mono sound. And if you've seen any of the videos of the Whitby Goth Weekend, for example, filmed from when it started up until about 2003, they were all more likely than not filmed on tapes like these on that camcorder. Without further ado then, I'm going to take the wrapping off this tape. I know this may look a little bit like a cassette comeback video. And I haven't unwrapped one of these since, well, 2003. They're actually very tough to get the wrapping off, but there we go, that's the actual tape. So for the first time in this, since I've had this deck, I'm going to eject, and I'm going to pop the tape in. It made rather a lot of noise then, but that's not completely surprising because actually that's kind of expected because my other deck has a similar kind of lacing routine. I'm going to flip open the bottom here and there's various controls here. I'm going to set the recorder to standard play mode rather than long play mode. I'm going to set the input to line, and I think we're more or less ready to go. Now, all being well, this machine should have the camera plugged into it as well, so it'll be kind of filming itself. And I'm now going to hit the machine into record. And the machine is now recording. I'm going to start talking, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to fade down the right hand audio channel so that there's now no sound on the right hand channel. I'm then going to fade the right. I've showed you this machine recording, and now I'm showing it playing back. As we did before, I'm going to fade down the right hand microphone, and now you're only hearing my personal mic, which is on the left hand channel. I'm now going to swap them over, and you now have the audio purely on the right hand channel and not the left hand channel. I'm then going to fade them both up, and now you're hearing me again in the middle of the tape. In conclusion, I think this, for the time, was a very, very neat piece of kit. It records pretty decent quality video, and the sound's not too bad either. So I would expect one of these things at the time to have been a premium product that only someone who was really into making videos or good hi-fi would have owned. I've not seen many of these come up for sale. In fact, I don't think I've seen one of these on eBay since I bought this one. So this is certainly a very rare piece of equipment, and I don't think you're going to see many of these around. Having said that, it's very, very specialist, and unless you're transferring tapes with PCM encoded sound on, then you're not going to really need one. Myself, I'm going to keep hold of this because I want to keep hold of various obsolete formats for doing transfers in case someone just has that one tape that they need to have copied over that may have some great music on, or it may be a live concert or something off the radio that no longer exists in the archives. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this, please follow me on Facebook, please follow me on YouTube, like the bell icon so you can see my next videos, and if you've got any suggestions for things for me to talk about in the upcoming sets, please let me know because I'm always open to ideas. Thank you for watching.